Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 92nd, potentially, maybe, sort of, kind of, episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I hope everyone has had a fantastic week. I have to say, I've had a decent one myself. It feels like I haven't done this in a while because I believe, not to brag again, although I do believe I bragged on the actual, last episode. I recorded that one a day or two in advance because I was feeling like I wanted to have my homework done early that day, which is a feeling that doesn't, come to me often, if ever. So I sort of jumped on it. It's similar to like anytime I feel the urge to clean something, like I do as much as I possibly can because who knows when that feeling is going to come back. So I recorded over a week ago, the last episode. So hopefully I remember how to do this. You never know. But yeah, a lot's happened since the last time we spoke. The probably most of note being something that I complain about biannually. I probably complain about it as much as I complain about the whole use of bi before a word, like biannually, biweekly, bi-monthly, because does that mean every other or does that mean twice? I believe it means both, and you just sort of, given the context, have to infer certain things, but something I've learned about myself is things kind of need to be spelled out for me. I think I talked about this last week or the week before, but in movies, like, unless you're fully telling me, like, this is the plot, like, don't expect me to be able to figure stuff out. Like, I need to be, explain it to me like I'm 5 type thing. So, I'll never understand that. But what I sort of don't understand as much of that is the whole daylight savings nonsense. Now, good news and bad news. The good news is we are now in actual daylight savings time, which means we have exited what I like to call daylight losings time. So we did, unfortunately, and this is the bad news, we lost an hour of sleep, which we're never getting back. So I don't know what to do. Oh, I guess you kind of get it back at daylight losings time in November. So maybe everything does balance out, but it's now later. So I'm happy about that. And I would like it if we could maybe, like, if I had just one wish for Christmas, I would say, let's just forget about this whole thing. And I've said before, I'm open to the idea of, like, maybe there's purpose, maybe there's a reason. I feel like I've looked into it a few times and it wasn't exactly a fruitful Google search. I don't feel like I walked away from that said Google search with really concrete facts. So I still don't fully understand the reason. Again, I'm open to it. I don't want to come on here and say daylight savings is evil and we should stop doing it because maybe there's a reason, Got to do what we got to do. But why do we have to, I'm just asking why. And if we can stop it, my fear is that we're going to end it completely, which would keep us in, unfortunately, daylight losings time, which would mean that it's going to get dark at like 2:30 p.m. And I don't want that. I like to live in the light. Okay, we got to all, we got to live in the light. The only downside to daylight savings time is especially in the first month or so, once you get used to it, it's fine. But I get, maybe not even months, but in the first few weeks, I get confused as to like what time it is. I'll look outside and see that it's light, and I'll be like, yeah, I have so much time left to record. The 92nd episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. And then I look down at the clock and it's 7:30. And I think, if my bedtime is 8 o'clock and it's 7:30 and I have to spend, maybe an hour total on production of the Nobody Asked for This podcast, I would have to have started that 30 minutes ago. And then you're like, well, shoot, going past my bedtime, which I think I really recommend everybody have a bedtime. It doesn't have to be 8 o'clock. And if we're being honest, mine's not actually 8 o'clock. It's more like 8:30. And not the time that I fall asleep, but the time I like to be in bed, maybe 9. 9's a good middle ground. The teeth are brushed, the retainer's in, the sound machine is on. No, I don't have a sound machine. I don't think I could sleep with the sound machine. I don't know when we started involving sound machines. I assume it's long before I got here, but I don't know. It's like, aren't we supposed to sleep in silence? Maybe not. Again, I'm open. I'm always open to being wrong. I'm open to hearing differing opinions. So there's that. I'm not sure. But I will complain for two reasons. One, I'm human, just living a life. And the second reason is I have time to fill on the Nobody Asked This podcast, especially for the 90-second episode. So that's sort of where I'm at. This is going to be a special episode of the podcast because I feel like the last maybe even 10 episodes, I've done sort of like a part 1, part 2 situation. I'll record the first 10, 15 minutes in my car, and I'll record the last 10, 15 minutes in the beanbag chair that I'm presently in. And it, it breaks stuff up. Maybe you get a different, I'm a different person, AM versus PM. I meant PM. I said BM, or at least it sounded like I said BM. I do not mean bowel movement. Just so everyone knows. I remember the first time someone referred to, as a bowel movement. I think it was a doctor and said, when's the last time you had a bowel movement? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, never? And then I had to be explained that meant, how do I say this politely? Using the restroom. And I was like, why didn't you just say, like, bowel movement? But it's kind of genius. Like, I would have loved to be at the meeting where they decided that a nice way to say taking a crap would be bowel movement. It's very, like, medicinal, or I guess medical is more the word. Clean living. Like, I actually do want to get a Home Goods Winners style, like, headboard. Not a headboard, but like a framed thing that says bowel movement, but like in that illegible handwriting, so like you really can't tell what it's saying, and it looks kind of like a fancy pattern. I would like to get that. So then when people walk into my house or wherever and they say, oh, what a beautiful, beautiful artwork that is. Is that Da Vinci? And I can say, no, it's from Winners and it says bowel movement. You know what I mean? Also, Da Vinci was the artist, right? The Mona Lisa? When she's just sitting there doing side smirk. I would love to know the history of the Mona Lisa. Maybe one day. I actually did have a life-changing update, even though you've listened to this actually, first of all, no one listens to this because obviously nobody asked for this. But in my mind, you've listened to this for 8 minutes, and I haven't really brought up anything completely like compelling or interesting necessarily. So you would think I don't have an important life update from this week. But in fact, you would be wrong because I did have an important life update, and I'm going to give you some background. So since I was a wee lad, a young person, I have exclusively lived in a hoodie any moment of any day where I have not had to be in some sort of like dress code or uniform situation. I've been in a hoodie. I live in a hoodie. I breathe in a hoodie. I sleep in a hoodie. Summer, I'm in a hoodie. Fall, I'm in a hoodie. Spring, I'm in a hoodie. Winter, I'm in a hoodie. It's just, I've just decided that that's what I'm going to wear. If I was a cartoon character, I would be in a hoodie. Usually sweatpants with the hoodie. I wasn't a huge, I don't really, when I was younger, like, I don't really think I had too many sweatpants. So it was always like a pajama, like, pajama pants or whatever. Recently it's been sweatpants, but I'm always in a hoodie. And then I was at a very, very fancy department store. Not going to say which one, but I was there. And I saw a hoodie on sale that wasn't my average hoodie. Now, I don't know what it is people think of when they hear the word hoodie. I think of like a crew neck with a pouch and a hood. So like a sweater, basically. But There also is a different type of hoodie, which I forget about, which is the zip-up hoodie, which is technically a hoodie because there is a hood. I believe that is the legal definition of hoodie, is hood. Something with a hood. And I thought, you know what? I could really enhance my portfolio here and add to my hoodie collection because I don't have many, if any, zipper hoodies. What is it called? Yeah, zip-up hoodies. So I thought, I'm going to do something wild. I'm going to buy a zip-up hoodie. And it's been my favorite purchase of 2024. Far exceeds any purchase I made in 2023. And I love it. And I come to you today proudly in, one, my beanbag chair, but two, my zip-up hoodie. I like that you can control the temperature more so than a regular hoodie. Like when you're in the classic, or at least my idea of the classic hoodie, like you're sweating. Because again, as I say, I wear a hoodie in the summer as well. But something about the zip, I'm like, oh, it's a little bit hot. Let me zip it a little bit down. Or you could go full unzip. Or if you're cold, you can zip it all the way up. Like, I just feel like this is a genius invention. I feel very late to the game, but that is very my brand, so to speak. Not that I really have a brand, but if I had one, it would be me being late to the game, and really me having ideas, not ideas as in inventions, because I obviously didn't invent the hoodie, but like I'll get something and like the obvious use will be X, and I'm like, you know what? I actually have a really good point that I'm about to make. I think, X, and it's like the same thing. It's like, yeah, no duh, that's why it was invented type thing. So all I have to say, my only message to everyone tonight is, or this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you're listening to this, whenever you're listening to this, whatever year it may be it 2024 or 2058. Because I have no plans of taking down this podcast. Whether or not I'm recording in 2058, I'm unclear. But come hell or high water, you will be able to listen to the Nobody Asked for This podcast well into the future. Mostly because I don't actually remember any of the passwords that I made for this account. So like if my computer one day were to, end up in a river, which is very unlikely given the lack of outdoor time that I allot myself, and even more unlikelier because I can't see a scenario where I would bring my laptop outside. But let's just say it did. Like, if this laptop sinks, like, you're probably never going to hear from me again. So if any episode is my last, just know it's because my laptop went in the Pacific. Or the Atlantic. Whatever ocean I'm near, I'm actually not 100% sure. Just know that water was involved. There was water damage, and I wasn't able to get back in. I'll have to start, like, the Nobody Asked for This podcast 2, and start back at 0 listeners when I've already taken almost 2 years to climb my way, truly crawl to, I think, about 12 subscribers. So I can't imagine having to do that again. Should I just buy Instagram followers? I don't know that you can buy podcast subscribers, but you can for sure buy Instagram followers. And I thought to do that, but they were just sort of out of my budget at the time. Maybe, things have elevated and I can really allot more to, what's a not sad way to code that sort of purchase? Fan engagement is what I'll call it in my finances. But anyway, that's a me problem. Long story short, everyone try a zip-up hoodie. If I ever did any sort of like merch for the Nobody Asked for This podcast, it would for sure be hoodies. I would do a zip-up option and a standard option. So get your pre-orders in now. I will say, I do have a slight, not issue, because I never want to be negative, obviously. If you've even heard one episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast, I'm never negative. Always, again, I like to live in the light. But I would appreciate some sort of I like the pouch of is that called a pouch? you know what I'm talking about, like the front pocket of a hoodie. I like the pouch, how it's like long way with hot dog style on a crew neck hoodie, and I don't love that in a zip up. The zipper breaks up the two sides of the pouch, and I would really love to find a way to still have the full pouch, which will be the title of this episode. Full pouch. I don't know if I can do that, but I'll think about it. I would like to have the full pouch. Say full pouch one more time. I would like to have the full pouch, but with a zip. So I think I'll start doing like a prototype or draw a billboard. Not a draw a billboard. What is it called? A blueprint. Billboard. I'll draw a blueprint for this proposed hoodie. I think there would be a way to do it. I think if you had, there would have to be, okay, visualize this with me here. Okay, so I'm thinking, pretend we have it unzipped. Obviously unzipped, I can't help you. Like, there's nothing I could do if you want your full pouch. But if we were able to get the zipper somehow like underneath the pouch, like pouch over top, and then maybe we could have like a magnet that would like conjoin the sides together, or like it would stick over the pouch, then I think we can make it work. Just putting that out there. Ask, believe, receive, in that exact order. Obviously, I'm the biggest fan of receiving, but sometimes the ask and believe is important too. So, anyway, what else happened this week that I can talk about? I will say I had a sort of a food revolution the other day. Is it a revolution if it's just yourself? Probably not. I had a realization, I guess is more the term. It was the year of realizing stuff. It was the day of realizing stuff the other day. And I made tuna salad, like not salad as in like lettuce Caesar salad, like tuna salad as in basically you take stuff and put mayo in it and it's a salad, like that type of salad, the best kind of salad. Even though if you were to ask me, I would say I hate mayo for whatever reason. I think that's not fully true. I'd never go to mayo. I never think like, oh, let's put some mayo on this, because even if I don't hate it, I don't understand it. I don't get what it is. I've tried to figure it out. I've Googled it. I've watched tutorials on how to make it. And there's just something about homemade mayo that is just, again, I'm not scared of it. I just like, what is it? Like, what's up? Like, what's up? Like, who thought, okay, you know what? This sandwich is so dry. Let me get some egg whites, which I think that's what it is, right? Let me get some egg whites, some water, some like soybean oil, whisk it together, not cook it, and just spread this on my sandwich. Like, I don't, actually, you know what? I ask a lot of questions on the show and I don't find a lot of answers, but I think this is one worth looking into. What is the history of mayo? If I was still in elementary school, which thankfully I was able to get out of it last year, but I would totally do a project on mayo. Okay, mayonnaise. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am doing what every teacher told me not to do. And again, I say I didn't misspeak. Like, specifically, every teacher told me not to do, not every prof, because the profs for some reason weren't so strict on this. But I'm on Wikipedia. The mayonnaise article article on Wikipedia, and it says mayonnaise, colloquially, my favorite word, referred to as mayo, is a thick, cold, which is actually, this is exactly how people describe me, thick, cold sauce commonly used on sandwiches, hamburgers, composed salads. Okay, that's what I'm talking about here. Composed salads. Love that word. Love that I have that now. And French fries. Now, I gotta say, I don't mind dipping a fry in mayo. I don't know that I would have particularly put it on the sort of Mount Rushmore being sandwiches, hamburgers, composed salads, and French fries. Like, that wasn't where my mind would go immediately. But I respect it. And it says it also forms the base for various other sauces, such as tartar sauce, fry sauce, and salsa golf. What is salsa golf? I've never heard of this. Salsa golf is a cold, okay, so just for everyone following along at home, I've clicked salsa golf, which is actually kind of difficult to say. So I'm on the Wikipedia page for salsa golf. Now I know salsa, from my understanding, is Spanish for just sauce. So golf sauce is a cold sauce of somewhat thick consistency, common in Argentina. It is made from mayo with a smaller amount of tomato-based sauce, such as ketchup, as well as seasonings, including pimento, oregano, and cumin. Okay, you know what? I would try it. I would try this. You learn something new every day. Okay, but back to the task at hand. Back to the mayo. Again, for those of you following at home, we're now going to click that little back arrow to go back to the Wikipedia page for mayonnaise. It says mayonnaise is an emulsion. Don't love that word. Seems sciencey. I feel like I had a multiple choice question on like a grade 9 science test about emulsion and I got it wrong, so we've kind of had beef ever since. But it says mayonnaise is an emulsion of oil, gross, egg yolk, even worse, and an acid, either vinegar or lemon juice. I don't know about that. There are many variants using additional flavorings. The color varies from near white to pale yellow, and its texture from a light cream to a thick gel. Commercial eggless imitations are made for those who avoid chicken eggs because of egg allergies, to limit dietary cholesterol, or because they are vegan. Okay. Again, an interesting tidbit to include, like right on the front page of this, but okay. Again, I'm still not oh gosh, okay, so you know how in Wikipedia they have like the headings? It's like history, etymology, preparation, usage. One of the headings is called salmonella, so I am absolutely clicking on that. It says mayonnaise, both commercially processed and homemade, has been associated with illnesses from salmonella globally. Terrifying. The source of the salmonella has been confirmed to be raw eggs. So you're telling me that when I was younger and I would, get my paws into the cookie dough, the raw Pillsbury cookie dough, and would get in trouble and told I was going to get worms in my butt, and I wasn't allowed to eat that. You're telling me that whole time I was also being fed mayo, which was going to give me salmonella anyways, so I might as well have had the delicious cookie dough, which Pillsbury has since made safe to eat raw, which for some reason made it not taste good. I don't know if it was with the thought. Like, I don't know if I liked the idea of eating, something I maybe wasn't supposed to eat. And now that I can eat it, it doesn't taste as good. Or maybe like raw egg just adds a different flavor. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to say like I like the taste of raw egg because I couldn't tell you what it tastes like. But all I know for sure is that the now safe to eat raw Pillsbury cookie dough does not taste as good as the one that I was told was going to give me salmonella and butt worms. So that's all, that's my truth, okay? But back to Wikipedia. Several outbreaks with fatal cases have been recorded, with a few major incidents. In a 1955 outbreak in Denmark, 10,000 people were affected by salmonella from contaminated mayonnaise made by a large kitchen. Who's the large kitchen? The pH of the mayonnaise was found to be... I also don't like how I'm saying it. Mayonnaise. With the pH of the mayonnaise, that's better, was found to be 5.1, with salmonella counts of 180,000 CFU per G. I assume per gram. I don't know what metric that is. Okay, yada, 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 yada. Okay, the last sentence. Some brands use pasteurized eggs, which would reduce this risk factor. Well, I feel like they should all use pasteurized eggs. It says, in all salmonellosis cases, is that the plural of salmonella? The major reason was inadequate... I lost my spot. Inadequate acidification of the mayo, with a pH higher than the recommended upper limit of 4.1, with acetic acid as the main acidifying agent. Say acid one more time. I don't understand the sentence I just read. 1. 2, if you put enough acid in stuff, you're not going to get salmonella. Okay, I just clicked on the Wikipedia page for salmonella, and I instantly, there's like pictures. I don't want to be a part of that. Okay, anyway, so I feel like I've learned absolutely nothing. Yeah. Yikes. I'm just not going to look into it any further, and if mayo is on a sandwich, I'm going to eat it. What I meant to say by all of this, which started the tangent of mayo, is I've realized that tuna salad is not so bad. I can't exactly remember how I got here. Oh, I think I was talking about salads, or my new favorite term, compound salads, because I made a tuna salad, which I just learned live on air is a compound salad. But yeah, if you had asked me a week ago, do you care about tuna salad? I would have said, no, not particularly, no strong feelings. It was delicious. I don't know if it was my culinary abilities. I don't know if it was that I probably added way too much mayo, which thankfully, knock on wood, you can hear the knocking, thankfully did not end in salmonellosis or anything of the sort. I'm very lucky to say that the company that made the mayo used enough acid, thankfully, or hopefully just a pasteurized egg, or it might have been the avocado oil one, not to brag or get too fancy, but I might have bypassed the raw egg, hopefully. But yeah, the message of hope that I wanted to send out was, if you think you don't like tuna salad, maybe give it another try, because it is a very like school lunch thing to get. And I just feel like a lot of those foods, they just left a bad taste in your mouth because you were at school and you didn't want to be. I don't want to speak for everybody, but like who like really wanted to be like learning calculus? Not me. But give it another try. Give it another go. Add whatever you want, Live your life. Live your life. If you get nothing else from this podcast, live your life. Tuna salad. I actually think tuna salad is a good name, or a good episode name for this podcast. It's also like, when you look at recipes for tuna salad, there are some where like you literally put like 15 ingredients, but it's like just a little bit. They're like, put a little bit of ketchup and a little bit of mayo and a little bit of mustard, or I guess a lot of bit of mayo, but a little bit of mustard, a little bit of relish, maybe like, again, like some lemon juice just to acidify or whatever it was called. Add some salt, add some pepper, maybe some seasoning salt, maybe some, I said ketchup. I feel like ketchup doesn't sound great, but you never know. I know people that add whipped cream. Not whipped cream. Sour cream. Cream cheese. Gets fluffy. I guess in that case, you would have to add like some sort of like a whipped cream cheese. You know what I also was realizing? Like, I feel like when I was younger, like there were certain snacks and stuff that would be like the snack of the day. And not the snack of the day, but like the snack of the moment. Like everyone would be eating, the same snack. Like it was like everyone was eating Lunchables and then everyone was eating Dunkaroos. And I feel like that doesn't happen anymore. And I don't know if it's like an age thing, like if it was just, I'm not, comparing lunches with people, or if we've, as a society, just strayed away from food sort of trending. I mean, hey, I do my part. I talk about new snacks. I talk about new fast food items. So I'm putting the work in, but are you? I don't know. Maybe you are, but anyway, I hope everyone that has listened to this has a great week. I hope most of the planet who does not listen to this has a great week as well. I don't want to wish them any ill will, but the people that listen, I just got to be honest. Me personally, I hope you have a better week than, everyone who didn't hear this. Not that everyone can win. There's room for everybody. There's room for everyone in country music. I can't remember who said that. I was at a concert and someone was like, there's room for like they made us do a chant of like, there's room for everybody in country music. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice, but also like what's happening here? why was I at a country I haven't even been that many concerts. I don't know. I bet I could figure it out. But regardless, I hope everyone has a great week. I hope if you like what you're hearing, you go to podcast.nobodyaskedforthis.podbean.com. I hope when you're on there, you see that you can just straight up listen to all of the episodes on there. You can also find links to our Spotify, our Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube. We put the episodes right up on YouTube. I would say that's the place where I go viral the most. And by go viral, I mean maybe have like a 20 view episode, which is big for me. But yeah, I really appreciate you listening. You probably didn't make it all the way to the end because I feel like no one has, but that's fine. Like 5 minutes works. I think it counts as a view or whatever. Just please listen to as much as would count as one view. So we can just maybe next week I'll come with that information and just really encourage like bare minimum participation, because I feel like that is it's not what I'm known for because I'm not known, but if I were known for stuff, I feel like it would be for just doing the bare minimum. So I hope everyone has a great week. I think I said this already. I'm just going to go. Goodbye. See you next week.